Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This stunning gentleman right next to me, this is Tim, and this is Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. Today, beautiful people, we've got another hodgepodge. We've got some New Mexico shenanigans that are going down, and we have some potentially really excellent news coming out of Louisiana, of all places. You guys are going to love this show. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell, and always drop a comment because you know how that helps that algorithm. So, with that said, Tim, we've got the intro. It's Monday. You're looking good. How we doing?
I'm doing fine, man.
That's good.
Nice relaxing weekend, you know.
That's good. Hunting season's almost here.
It is.
Almost here.
The deer are being hunted vigorously by vehicles right now because the rut is on and they're running around like a bunch of idiots and getting plowed by cars. So you have all the redneck antler hunters out there, you know, cutting the heads off, ran over deer. So you'll find headless corpses on the side of the road. And then I always wanted to be over that person's house when they tell that story. Like, yeah, I got this one. I had that old 270 my grandpa gave me, and I got him at 562 yards with a mirror shooting over my left shoulder, and I'm right-handed. And, you know, it's just, yeah.
Wow. That was,
and it really,
that was
like, no, man, I saw that one laying on the side of 35 highway, and I think you cut that one out. Yeah.
that was elaborate. It's a different world up in Indiana. That's weird. Man. I've never heard of that. People strange. And I thought Florida was weird.
No, people up here are absolutely goofy over antlers, man. There's families are destroyed. You know, it's just, yeah. It's
everyone's got their thing, man.
Don't touch my rack. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It got weird fast, but that's okay because you know who else has a thing, Tim? New Mexico.
New Mexico.
They do. They have a thing. They do. Let me just bring you into this, Tim, because I know we've talked about this a lot. Check this out. I think you're gonna enjoy this. So, Miss Brewster, throw up number one for me. So, Tim, you remember that sheriff that kind of shut down the New Mexico governor when she did her whole no guns in this area kind of executive ban based on public health? Remember that guy?
Slips my mind. Oh, yes, I remember. A whole week of our lives was dedicated to following that story, yes.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a whole week. It was like 1 of 52. It was a thing. Well, New Mexico sheriff strikes again. We won't enforce the governor's amended concealed carry ban. Now, let me show some background here, Tim, because this kind of fell out of the popular culture after she got smoked in the big order. Yeah. But then she amended it to like playgrounds and parks and stuff. And the sheriff goes, yeah, we're still not doing that. Yeah. Nah, it's still stupid.
But I love the reason he cites because he's 100% right.
You know? Yep. And this guy was elected and ran as a Democrat. This is not a far right conservative.
No.
This is a Democrat Party sheriff. All right. So check this out. Number 2, Mr. Producer. And Tim, I've been practicing this name after about 5 weeks. I think I finally got it. Bernalillo, boom, County Sheriff John Allen, who refused to enforce New Mexico Governor's Michelle Lujan Grisham's original order banning concealed carry, has made it clear his office will not enforce her amended order either. and wait until I show you how she reacts. So this is what he said here. So, Ms. Producer, number 3. So, as we mentioned, the judge allowed the playgrounds and the parks piece of this amended order, and she started parading around like a victory. Well, here's what Allen said. KUNM, which is a local source, pointed out that Sheriff Allen was asked if the amended ban is enforceable and if it would reduce gun violence. His response was no and no. Quote, it wouldn't make a difference because, again, you're just going after law-abiding citizens with firearms, and it does nothing to drive down gun crime or any other crime, whether it's at a playground or somewhere else. It's not common sense to me at all. Man.
Yeah. And, you know, this is an argument that we've made for a long time. And it also speaks to another point. Like you're talking about the guy as a Democrat. Look, not all Democrats are anti-gun. Every Democrat in D.C. is anti-gun, but that doesn't mean the rank and file are anti-gun. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the places where pro-gun Democrats run afoul of their party is in instances like this, when they overreach. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so here we have the sheriff saying, so basically that little, edict you handed down from above violates the rights of law-abiding citizens. It does nothing to curb violence or crime or any of that. All you're doing is harassing regular Americans going about their daily lives who are not the problem. And this is where the anti-gunners can't seem to make that delineation. They always seem to separate the criminal from the gun and blame the gun for the actions of the criminal. Mm-hmm. And so they think, well, if we take the guns away, then the criminals won't have them. Well, that's not how the world works. When you take the guns away, only the people that follow the law taking the gun away will abide by the law taking the gun away. Guess what a criminal is going to do? They're going to criminal. They're going to get the gun anyway, and they're going to use a gun, and they're going to look at what you've done and go, well, gee, thank you for making such fertile hunting grounds for me. Now I can run around and don't have to worry about anybody stopping me. And so it just it makes the situation worse, not better. And they can't seem to wrap their noodly little minds around that concept.
No. It's creating a power vacuum.
Yes.
That's the idea. You're creating a power vacuum. So if you take away one side of the equation, the other equation now has an advantage. That's at the very base level. That's why it fails a basic rationale test. That's also why Tim has coined the phrase inanimate object violence.
Inanimate object violence, yes.
IOVs.
It seems like the far left just enjoys doing things like that, just upsetting ecosystems. Like, you know what, we're going to put some windmills out in the middle of the ocean. Oh, what do you mean it's killing whales? Oh, well, it's just they're always unbalancing things, thinking they're fixing something, and they're not, including trying to strip us of our rights. It doesn't fix anything. It just makes the situation worse, but they can't seem to understand that.
Well, this is a fun topic. I enjoy this concept because you're 100% correct. Now we're getting off the New Mexico, but don't worry, we'll come back.
We'll come back
because the governor's got something awesome to say. So, socialist progressives, left, the Democratic socialists, everyone on that end of the political spectrum, they always do that. They are looking for a way to control the environment to bring about a perfect utopia. That's the entire perception. The entire perception is by manipulating the existing status quo, we can create a more perfect union and a utopia, which will be amazing and equal for everyone. And there will be no advantage. There will be no one better. Everything will be perfectly the same. And then we will just have to crash some eggs and break the existing system to make that come about. The only problem with that thought process is you cannot control human behavior. Mm-hmm. And they are consistently ignoring the human element, thinking they can control it out of people. And you just simply can't. It is impossible. You cannot do it. That's why these systems don't work.
Yep. They're all destined to failure. And they every time they fail, it's like the people that promote these ideas, they don't get dissuaded. It almost like it invigorates them, and they try harder the next time. It's like, are you people
they just didn't do it right.
daft?
They just didn't do it right that time. They just didn't do it right that time.
And you hear that all the time. But socialism works great if it's done right. Forget about the 20, 30, 40, 100 million dead people in the last week. 100 million. Yeah. That was just because we didn't do it right. We're going to give it another try, Yep.
We're going to do it right this time. Yeah. No, you're not. Yeah. But you know what, Tim? Speaking of disaster,
yes,
do a hard Yui.
There we go. Right back
to the governor. Yes. Right back to New Mexico. That was a fun caveat, though. I enjoyed that. All right. So number 4, Mr. Producer, the governor. Again, speaking of disaster and doomed to failure, the governor looks to address gun violence prevention at the legislative session. Ooh, Tim, what's the difference there between what she did and what she's now saying she's going to do? Well, the executive dictates.
Right. She thinks that she has the power to do whatever she wants just by executive fiat. I sign my name to a piece of paper and I can do whatever I want. Constitutional rights, did I trample them? Well, I don't know. We'll let the courts decide that. Well, that's just an admission of guilt.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, really? So then she turns around after getting stuffed. Then she comes around and goes, well, now we're going to do it legislatively, therefore trampling on her entire point of she can do whatever she wants because it's perfectly fine and constitutional. We're going to find out. Well, she found out, and now she's going legislatively. So here's what number 5. This is actually a quote from her. Number 5, Mr. Producer. In response to Judge Uriah's ruling, LaJuan Grisham issued a statement where she highlights the significance of public safety. She's just quintupling down at this point. Quote, bold change is not easy. We must continue this effort with comprehensive public safety actions now and into the upcoming legislative session, where we will work to make these gun violence prevention measures permanent, LaJuan Grisham wrote in a statement. So we're going legislative in a mini session. So the special sessions that are 30 days long, they're going to ram through all of this and the financial stuff.
What somebody needs to do is send her a link to what just happened in Israel. And
common current event.
Yeah. Right. It's like, here's what your gun grabbing agenda leads to: death and destruction. And yes, bold change is not easy. Exterminating the human race through stupidity does take a lot of work. Change. It's so it's just, it's mind numbing that these idiots think this way. Like, it's just
I think
bold
we should retire
change.
the word bold.
Yeah, bold change. Translated, we just want to take the Constitution, wipe our little tiny butts with it.
But it's bold.
And then, and then say, that's been bold.
It's bold, Tim.
It's bold.
It's bold. It's for the children. It's bold for the children. It is. So if you go to number 6, we're going to wrap this up. This is what's required in 30 days, Tim. Listen to what they have to do. Quote, the upcoming legislative session is a short session, 30 days only, typically to address financial issues. So the governor would have to add gun violence prevention measures to the call for it to be germane during the short session. And she would also have to deal with the calls for her impeachment. She would also have to do the financial bills and get a sweeping gun legislation across the floor to justify her executive actions all in 30 days.
We'll see how that plays out for her.
Yeah, let's see. Speaking of doomed to failure.
Yeah, she's not doing so well right now. So,
man,
and any political capital she may have had, I think she squandered pretty effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because nobody's going to want to hitch their wagon to that nightmare.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
No one is going to hitch their wagon to this horrible nightmare. She has such a stigma against her for violating constitutional rights. I bet you're going to get the far left Democrats in New Mexico. Of course, they're everywhere. Yeah. But you're not going to get the middle of the road Democrats who are in purple districts or anything of that nature. Like, that's just not going to happen.
People that are actually wanting to stay in office and have a political career. Yeah, they're not going to commit career suicide by following this lunatic.
That's a good way to say it. And you know what, Tim? You did another transition for me. Speaking of political suicide, man, you are so good at these. We're going to jump over to Louisiana, Tim, because something happened.
Yeah,
something big, my friend.
Yes,
something good stuff. All right, so this is number 7, Mr. Producer. A Republican, Jeff Landry, wins the Louisiana governor's race and reclaims the office for GOP. Well, now, Tim, normally I would just say, okay, well, GOP took an office. Okay, well, woo, yay.
Right.
However, when you look at number 8, which I think is an important piece, why would I be bringing up, Tim, the state concealed carry permit requirements across the United States? You see Louisiana down there?
Yeah.
That little yellow one? Yeah, a permit is required. Mm-hmm. So we've had a Democrat in office in Louisiana for, 8 years now. And wouldn't you know it, in number 9, the bill to let people carry concealed guns without permits dies in the Louisiana legislature. It's the 3rd time in as many years that a constitutional carry bill has failed in the legislature. Now, Tim, why would I be excited about that?
Executive fiat? He can just sign it into being?
Again. Yes, exactly. No. No.
Well, they get to do it. Why can't we?
Yes, but they also have a judge that looks like Kurt Cobain smacked them down. So there you go. So Louisiana, this could be big. This could be the 28th state.
Yeah, big.
It could be huge. This could be the greatest constitutional carry amendment ever. This law could be incredible. But yeah, so Louisiana could actually push this bill forward in the coming election year. They could have the governor sign it because the roadblock is no longer there. Mm-hmm. It already passed the House 3 different times. And you've got a wave. Oh, not a wave. You've got an election that's trending towards Republicans, or at least center to right. This could potentially happen pretty quick.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And that's, we already have the vast majority of states on board with constitutional carry. It's if you take a look at that map, it's actually pretty interesting. The yellow states, some of them will never flip, and some are going to take some work. But I think we've made huge strides in a very short period of time, and I think given some more time, we'll see more of the states come around to our way of thinking, because it is the proper way of thinking, and states are starting to realize that, like, maybe there is something to this whole constitutional thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. And if you get Louisiana, you've completed the Deep South. Mm-hmm. So then the only ones left that I think are feasible and that are reasonably within reach, the low-hanging fruit, I think you got South Carolina and North Carolina.
Oh, and
which
California
will put us
too.
Directly at 30. Oh, yeah, it's right there. It's almost there.
It's almost there. I mean, it's so close.
Yeah. If you're a giraffe. Yeah. So I think you're potentially sitting at a 30, the count to be 30. It could happen. South Carolina, North Carolina, and Louisiana. You get those 3. I think you round out a pretty good number of 30 out of 50. That'd be the old 3/5.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's math. So, I mean, I would take it. I'd be okay.
Yeah. 30 of 50 is not bad. Or was it 55 Obama said? I can't remember.
I think it was 57. I think it was 57. Yeah. I think so, yeah.
I forgot he added a few states while he was president.
He did. He did. A couple of them. Well, you know what, Tim? Somewhere out there, I feel like it's potentially that someone out there could be doubting if this Republican was really, has the potential to do it. So I'm going to list out a few of the things that this guy has been about, and then we'll kind of reassess that point. Okay, here we go. And I've got a warning for you on number 11. So before I read number 11, I'm going to give you a strict warning. All right, check this out. Here's number 10. This was from the AP. Attorney General Jeff Landry, a Republican backed by former President Donald Trump, oh my goodness, has won the Louisiana governor's race, holding off a crowded field of candidates. The win's a major victory for the GOP as they reclaim the governor's mansion for the first time in 8 years. Well, he's replacing a Democrat. And now, Tim, this number 11 that I'm about to read, everything that you want to say, run it through like triple filter this, okay? Because there's a lot of YouTube not friendly stuff in this line. All right, here we go. I have said it.
Whack, whack,
Cannot be held responsible at this point. Yep. Get the quacks ready. Here we go. Landry, 52, this is the guy who just won the governorship, has raised the profile of Attorney General since taking office in 2016. He has used his office to champion conservative policy positions. More recently, Landry has been in a spotlight over his involvement in staunch support of Louisiana laws that have much debate, including banning gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth, the state's near-total abortion ban that doesn't have exceptions for cases of rape or incest, and a law restricting youth access to sexually explicit materials in libraries, which opponents will fear will target LGBTQ books.
Well, we just got demonetized. I mean, pretty much hit all the hot button issues for the YouTube guys.
Oh, no, I did. No, check it out. I didn't get demonetized. And here's why. Because I read something from the AP and everything is sourced down there. So we're actually good on that front.
Okay.
I was just like, when I got through those 3 points, I was like, man, Tim's going to have a field day with this in his head.
Yeah. Because all the things that you just can't say. It's like George Carlin's 7 words. Yeah. It's like YouTube has their own, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And the reason that I read that, obviously we can't go too deep into all those. But
no, because then we get away from the AP and we get into our own commentary, and that's where YouTube's
exactly. That's not good.
It's not good. Us on the pickle.
It's not good at all.
Yeah.
It's not at all. Exactly. And I hate that. I do hate that. But there's no question this guy's firmly in the camp on the conservative, like, yeah, we're not doing that kind of no F's given. Yeah. That kind of vibe. So
talk about a radical swing for the state to go from Edwards to this guy. Because Landry just seems like, kind of that swashbuckling Trump type, that just wants to come in and you take a wrecking ball to everything.
Yeah, and, the Miley Cyrus that.
Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, what a horrible vision that was.
You bring up Obama and I bring up Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Sign of the times.
Wrecking ball. Anyway, so yes, right. So anyway, Louisiana just did a huge pivot. Which is, I don't know, in politics, it's kind of weird to go from one extreme to the other that quickly. But yes, I think if you take a look at what's going on in the United States as a whole politically, these types of radical pivots, because, I mean, think about it. When Trump came to office in 2016, that was a radical pivot. People were sick of the status quo. They were sick of the Obamas. They were sick of the Bushes. They were sick of it all because it was the uniparty and they were doing the exact same thing. And then Trump just comes in, he gets elected because people were sick of the status quo. They were sick of the establishment. And so we're seeing these radical shifts. I mean, it's fun to watch, but it's also can be quite dangerous politically, right? So, it's these types of radical shifts that wound up leading to the first American Civil War. So it's
you're not wrong.
No,
you're not wrong.
So you watch this stuff, and everybody's so opinionated and so divisive right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say 2016. I completely agree. The American people were like, "Hey, is this an M80? Let's just throw this up there and see what happens."
Right. What's this pen for? Yeah, let's just throw it in the room, see what happens. Yeah.
Well, let's just that rotunda. Let's get it. Well, so Tim, if it wasn't clear enough of where this guy stood, now this is the last thing. We'll wrap this up because I think this is important. This is number 12, Mr. Producer. Landry has made clear that one of his top priorities as governor will be addressing crime in urban areas. The Republican has pushed a tough-on-crime rhetoric, calling for more transparency in the justice system and continuing to support capital punishment. Woo! Louisiana has the nation's second highest murder rate per capita. The left is not going to like this guy. No. They're not going to like this guy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'm
feeling pretty good about constitutional carry, though.
Yeah, I think they may get it done.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good with this.
And if not, maybe he'll just do his own little edict, right? And he'll just sign something from high and hand it down.
Edicts for everybody. Edicts for everybody.
Yeah, we can't do that, though, right? Gosh. Well, I mean, sometimes you just want to play by their rules, even if they're wrong. fight fire with fire.
I get it.
Yeah,
it's temptation. It's temptation, but we can't. We got to take the higher road, Tim.
Yeah.
Take the higher road.
And we always get smoke taking the higher road, but yeah,
we do. But you know what? Over time,
yeah.
It's just like Novocaine. You stop it right now. Like,
okay,
we already danced on the devil with that one line.
Gotta stop. All right, folks. Well, anyway, hope you enjoyed today's episode of Second Legacy. Please tell your friends, family, and coworkers about the Second Legacy. Like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.